You were given a gift, and you are wasting it. Your face, your symmetry, your height, your bone structure. The genetic lottery handed you an advantage, and you think that makes you special. It does not. It makes you dangerous. Dangerous to yourself. Dangerous to everyone who mistakes your appearance for substance. Dangerous because you have been given power without the wisdom to wield it. By the end of this, I'll show you why attractiveness will secretly destroy your future, and the one framework that transforms it from a curse into unshakable power. Look around. Watch the attractive people in your life. Watch how they move through the world. Most of them are coasting. Most of them discovered early that doors open easier when you look a certain way. People laugh at mediocre jokes. Mistakes get forgiven. Effort is optional when charm is abundant. They learned the wrong lesson. They learned that appearance is enough. It is not enough. It has never been enough. It will never be enough. Beauty without discipline is a weapon in the hands of a child. And right now, most are children playing with sharp knives. You are taking the gift of physical attractiveness and turning it into a curse. You are building your identity on the most temporary foundation available. You are making yourself fragile while thinking you are strong. Listen carefully. Plato understood something 24 centuries ago that we still have not grasped. Beauty is not a reward. It is a responsibility. It is not validation. It is a test. And most of you are failing spectacularly. Culture wants you weak, dependent, and constantly consuming products that promise to maintain or enhance your appearance. Culture profits from your insecurity and your vanity in equal measure. The modern world is a training ground for beautiful but chaotic souls. Instagram is a gymnasium for vanity. TikTok is a masterclass in performance. Dating apps are a marketplace where appearance is currency and depth is debt. You see it everywhere. The attractive person who trades charm for integrity. The handsome man whose entire value system rests on what a mirror reflects back. The beautiful woman who mistakes attention for power, who has cultivated an audience but not a self. These people are slaves. Slaves to validation. Slaves to the eyes of others. Slaves to time itself. Because time is undefeated and beauty fades. They have built their lives on sand, and they wonder why they feel unsteady. They scroll through photos from 5 years ago and feel grief. They see someone younger getting the attention they used to command and feel rage. They are watching their empire crumble and they have no plan because they never built anything real. This is the fate of beauty without philosophy. This is what happens when you worship the gift instead of stewarding it. Plato saw this in the Republic, in the Symposium, in the Phaedrus. Beauty is the visible form of the good. It is meant to draw us upward toward truth, toward virtue, toward the eternal forms. But we get stuck. We worship the reflection instead of climbing toward the source. We build altars to our own faces and wonder why we feel empty. The Greeks called this tyranny. Not political tyranny, internal tyranny. The tyranny of appetite over reason. The beautiful person ruled by base desire is a tyrant in miniature. Enslaved to pleasure, enslaved to validation, enslaved to the next hit of attention. The Stoics understood. Epictetus was born a slave. Marcus Aurelius was born an emperor. Both taught the same truth. External advantages mean nothing without internal governance. Your face is an external. Your height is an external. Your bone structure is an external. These are preferred indifference. Nice to have, useful in their proper place, but worthless if they rule you. The only thing that matters is whether reason governs your soul. Whether you choose virtue when temptation is easy. Whether you build character when no one is watching. Most beautiful people never learn this. They spend their youth collecting advantages and their age mourning losses. They never became anyone. They were just a pleasant arrangement of features that time rearranged. Now the framework. the one that transforms beauty from curse to power. It comes from Plato, but it will sound modern because truth is timeless. 3 kinds of people, 3 relationships with beauty, 3 destinies. First, the appetite-driven. These are the majority. They see beauty as a tool for getting what they want. Sex, attention, status, easy victories. They use their looks to manipulate outcomes. They trade charm for shortcuts. They build nothing because they never have to. Their life is a series of easy wins that add up to a hard loss. They peak early, they fade fast, they die confused about what happened. Second, the honor-driven. These are fewer. They see beauty as something to maintain, to display, to be recognized for. They work out obsessively. They curate their image. They need to be seen as attractive. Their identity depends on external validation. They are better than the appetite-driven because at least they have discipline, but their discipline serves vanity, not virtue. When the validation stops, they collapse. They are stronger than the first group, but just as fragile. Third, the reason-governed. These are rare. They see beauty as a responsibility, as a test, as an advantage to be paired with substance, not traded for shortcuts. They train their body as part of training their character. They use their presence to create space for depth, not to avoid it. They build relationships based on mutual growth, not mutual admiration. They develop skills that compound. They age into power because they built on rock, not sand. They become the kind of person whose character commands respect long after their face stops commanding attention. Which one are you? Be honest. Do not answer with who you wish you were. Answer with who your choices reveal you to be. Watch your patterns. When you walk into a room, what are you seeking? Admiration, validation, or just presence? When someone compliments your appearance, what happens inside you? Do you inflate? Do you perform? Do you need more? Or do you note it and move on? When your looks open a door, do you walk through without earning your place? Or do you over-deliver to prove you belong independent of the advantage? When you post on social media, are you sharing or performing? Teaching or seeking validation? Adding value or collecting attention? These questions matter. Your answers reveal which of the 3 you are becoming. Now the specifics. How beauty destroys in each domain of life. Relationships, leadership, career, fame, and how to govern it instead. In relationships, beauty without discipline creates the cycle of shallow connections. You attract easily. You always have. People want to be near you, want to please you, want to possess you. You learn early that you can skip the hard work of real connection. You do not need to develop emotional intelligence because physical attraction carries you. You do not need to be interesting because interested parties are abundant. You do not need to be vulnerable because people fill in the gaps with their fantasies about you. This seems like winning. It is not. It is building a life of people who want you but do not know you, who admire your surface but never see beneath it, who leave when the novelty fades or when someone more attractive appears. You wake up at 35 with a history of shallow relationships, and you do not know how to build a deep one. You never learned. You never had to. Now you are older, the attention is less automatic, and you have no skills for the hard work of real intimacy. You choose partners based on how they make you look, not how they make you grow. You stay in relationships that serve your image rather than your development. You end relationships when they require uncomfortable truth rather than pleasant performance. Marriage becomes a photograph opportunity. Parenthood becomes content. Love becomes a performance you stage for an audience that does not care about you. You are alone in a crowd of people who think they know you. You cannot be seen because you never showed yourself. You cannot be loved because you never risked being known. This is the cost of beauty without discipline in relationships. abundance that starves, attention that isolates, the appearance of love without its substance. The alternative, the person governed by reason approaches relationships differently. Attraction is useful. It creates initial interest. It opens the door. But then the real work begins. You use that open door to offer depth, not just to collect validation. You ask real questions. You share real struggles. You let yourself be seen, not just admired. You choose partners who challenge you to grow, not partners who make you comfortable. You stay in relationships that develop your character, even when easier options are available. You build intimacy through vulnerability, not just through physical chemistry. The man who understands beauty as responsibility does differently. He sees attraction as the beginning, not the end. He uses initial interest to create space for real connection. He chooses partners who demand his growth, not his performance. He builds relationships on shared values and mutual respect, not just physical chemistry. He knows that looks open the door, but character keeps it open. 10 years later, he has something real, something that compounds, something that does not evaporate when his hairline recedes. In leadership, beauty without discipline creates the charismatic fraud. The leader people follow because he looks the part, sounds confident, makes them feel good in the moment. But there is nothing underneath, no real vision, no consistent principles, just performance. These leaders rise fast and fall hard. They confuse charm with competence. They surround themselves with yes men because criticism threatens the illusion. They make decisions based on optics rather than outcomes. When the crisis comes, and crisis always comes, they have no foundation. They collapse. The beautiful leader governed by reason uses his presence differently. He cultivates gravitas. He speaks slower than average. He holds eye contact without seeking reaction. He moves deliberately. He lets silence do work. He understands that presence is greater than looks for lasting influence. He builds his authority on competence, on keeping his word, on making hard decisions well. His attractiveness gets him in the room. His substance keeps him there. In the workplace, the attractive person without discipline learns to coast. And the coast is so smooth, they do not realize they are drifting until they are miles from where they should be. Projects come easier. You volunteer an idea in a meeting and people lean in. The same idea from your less attractive colleague gets a polite nod. You notice this. You start to rely on it. Mistakes are forgiven faster. You miss a deadline and your boss is understanding. Your colleague misses the same deadline and faces consequences. You notice this too. People want to help you, want to please you, want to be around you. The senior partner takes an interest in your career. The manager gives you the high visibility project. The team wants you at the client meeting because you make a good impression. This seems like winning. This seems like climbing the ladder efficiently. It is not. It is atrophy dressed as advancement. Skills do not develop when challenges do not press you. You never learn to do the unglamorous work because someone is always willing to handle it for you. You never develop resilience because failure has a safety net woven from attraction and charm. You never build real competence because you never have to. You are getting results, but you are not growing. You are advancing, but you are not learning. You are 35, and you realize you cannot actually do the hard technical work. You have been managing perceptions while your colleagues were managing real problems. The market shifts. The new boss does not care how you look. The new boss wants results, and you do not know how to deliver them without your usual advantages. The layoffs come, and you realize you never actually learned to do the hard thing when no one was cutting you slack. You are out. Someone less attractive but more competent takes your place. You are confused, you are angry, you are unprepared. The person who treats beauty as discipline builds differently. He refuses to use charm to manipulate outcomes. He over-delivers when he could easily under-deliver. He takes the difficult project that no one wants. He stays late, not to be seen staying late, but because the work matters. He becomes the person others trust when temptation is available, when shortcuts beckon, when integrity has a price. He builds a reputation independent of his appearance. When advantages fade, and they absolutely will fade, he stands on what he built, not what he was given. He is 50 and people still call him for the hard problems. Not because he looks good, because he delivers. Fame is the ultimate test. Fame for the beautiful and undisciplined is destruction in slow motion. It is predictable, it is repeatable. It has happened 1,000 times, and it will happen 1,000 more. The attention loop becomes all-consuming. You post something, it goes viral. The dopamine hits, you refresh, you read comments, you screenshot the metrics, you feel alive, you feel seen, you feel important. Then it fades. The next post does not perform as well. You panic slightly, you adjust, you perform harder, you chase the high. The algorithm demands constant feeding, you comply, you have no choice, you are addicted. Every decision gets filtered through how it will play publicly. You cannot have a genuine moment because every moment might be content. You cannot have a private failure because failure is brand damage. You cannot be vulnerable because vulnerability will be weaponized. You cannot change your mind because the audience expects consistency. You are trapped in a persona that you created and that now creates you. Authenticity dies because the performance never stops. You are on stage every waking moment. You start to notice that the person you present publicly and the person you are privately have split so completely that neither feels real anymore. You do not know who you are when no one is watching. Maybe no one is there at all. Just the performance, just the mask. The rare few who navigate fame well understand what Plato taught. They reframe attention as responsibility. They recognize that every pair of eyes on them is a test of character, not a reward they earned through genetics. They ask daily, did my presence improve the room or just feed my ego? They use visibility to elevate standards, to teach, to point toward something higher than themselves. They guard their private life fiercely. They build identity independent of public perception. They have friends who knew them before. They have activities where they are nobody special. They remember they are mortal. They survive because they never believed their own marketing. You see the pattern. Beauty multiplies your impact. It does not determine your direction. Direction comes from discipline, from philosophy, from choosing each day to govern your power rather than be governed by it. Now the practical path. How you actually do this. First, reframe beauty as responsibility. Stop treating attractiveness as a reward you have earned. You did not earn your bone structure. You did not earn your genetics. These are advantages, not achievements. Advantages create obligation. The obligation to not waste them. The obligation to pair them with substance. Write this down. Read it daily until it rewrites your mental framework. My appearance is a test, not a trophy. Second, assume attention is a test, not validation. Every time someone responds positively to your looks, assume it is checking whether you will stay grounded or get high on your own supply. Most people fail this test immediately. They preen, they perform, they chase more of that feeling. You do differently. You pause, you note the attention without attaching to it. You respond with substance, not more performance. Over time, this builds immunity to the addiction of validation. Once that is in place, you must conduct a daily assessment. End each day with 3 questions. Did my presence improve the room or just feed my ego? Where did I exploit my appearance for easy wins? Where did I choose the harder right over the easier wrong? Be ruthlessly honest. Write the answers. Track patterns. This prevents slow decay. This keeps you calibrated. This is where most people stop or get it wrong. 4th, build your body as discipline, not display. Train 4 to 5 times per week. Emphasize posture. Emphasize strength. Emphasize athletic movement. Carry heavy things. Sprint, climb, jump. Build a body that can do hard things, not just look good in photographs. Keep body fat and grooming orderly, but not obsessive. Avoid the physique signaling that screams vanity. Avoid the gym routine built entirely around mirror muscles. Here is the test Plato would give you. Would you still train if no one ever commented on your body? If the answer is no, you are training for the wrong reasons. Fix it. 5th, practice delayed gratification daily. Pause before reacting to praise. Pause before responding to flirtation. Do not chase attention spikes. Do not refresh for likes. Do not build loops where you need validation hits to feel normal. Build comfort with being unnoticed. Use cold exposure as a restraint drill. Use intermittent fasting as a restraint drill. Take silent walks where no one sees you and nothing happens, and you practice being fine with that. These are not punishments. These are training. You are building the capacity to exist powerfully without external input. 6th, cultivate real presence. Speak slower than the average person speaks. Hold eye contact without seeking reaction. Move deliberately and eliminate nervous gestures. Let silence do the work that words cannot. Understand that presence built on inner stillness will outlast presence built on physical appearance. The former compounds with age, the latter decays. You are building for decades, not days. 6 steps to remove the last remaining ugly parts from your soul and become truly beautiful. Let me tell you what happens when you do not do this work. You peak at 28, 32 if genetics are kind. You spend your 30s confused about why the magic stopped working. You spend your 40s bitter that younger people have what you lost. You spend your 50s alone with regrets about the person you could have become if you had built something real. You die having never known your own strength because you never tested it. You die having never earned real respect because you always took the shortcut. You die beautiful and empty. Most will never see what happens when you do this work. It looks like this. You build a life that gets stronger as you age. You become the person people trust with real responsibility. You develop skills that compound. You create relationships based on who you are, not what you look like. You face the mirror at 60 and see someone who became more, not less. You look back at your 20s and feel gratitude for the gift of beauty. But you feel pride for what you built with it. Plato laid out the blueprint. The ladder of love starts with physical beauty. Most people never leave that bottom rung. They circle it their entire lives, chasing the same shallow high, wondering why it stops working. The few who climb move from physical beauty to beautiful actions, to beautiful knowledge, to beauty itself. The form of beauty. The unchanging, perfect standard that your particular face merely reflects imperfectly. You cannot stay beautiful. The flesh fails. Time is undefeated. But you can become the kind of person whose presence carries weight decades after your looks fade. You can become the kind of person whose character inspires the same awe that your face once did. You can move up the ladder, but only if you stop worshipping the bottom rung. Your beauty is not your achievement. It is your test. The question is not whether you are attractive. The question is what you do with attraction. Do you coast? Do you manipulate? Do you collect easy wins and call it success? Or do you govern your power? Do you pair advantage with discipline? Do you build something that lasts? Most of you will fail this test. You will fail it because discipline is harder than performance. You will fail it because building real substance requires years of work that no one sees and no one applauds. You will fail it because vanity is a drug and you are already addicted. Some of you will not fail. Some of you will hear this and recognize the trap you are in. Some of you will choose the harder path. You will train when tired. You will build when discouraged. You will choose integrity over image every single time it costs you something. You will become dangerous in the way that matters. Not dangerous because you are beautiful. Dangerous because you are disciplined. Dangerous because you cannot be bought or flattered or seduced away from your principles. Dangerous because you built something real. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. Beauty gave you an advantage at the starting line. It does not determine where you finish. That is on you. History is watching. Your future self is watching.